Are we live? I think we're live. Not 100% sure, but I think we're... I suppose we are live. Let's give it a second to load on in, and then we'll get going. Because I think we should be good to go. All right. I'm noticing that the camera is starting to slowly but surely fall down, huh? Let me try put that up, but it's too heavy. So it's going to keep falling down, I reckon. I'll think of a fix in just a second. But ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? The crypto market's in a really interesting spot right now. I decided it is time for yet another stream to cover every single thing that's going on. Partially, whatever Trump's been saying right now, right? We've got some new news with regards to tariffs. We've got Trump making a lot of steps over the past 24 hours. Like multiple different announcements being made that I think could be quite interesting. I've got a little update on... Let me just quickly see here. Man, I've got so many different things. I've got a little strategy update. I've got a little bit of meme coin update. So for everybody who's in crypto today, is probably an interesting stream to enjoy, to indulge in. So everybody, if you're stopping by and saying hi, make sure you go ahead and press that like button because you've got nothing to lose, right? But I think it's going to be a pretty entertaining stream, or at least a lot of valuable information I think we've got today. So starting it out, because I already said it's about Trump, right? At least Trump has got some pretty juicy announcements in the most trendy announcement of the day. Let me find a way to get this, let me quickly find a way to get this thing higher. How do I find a way? Does this work? I think the problems start when I start bumping the freaking table. All right, should be good to go. All right, so the most interesting thing is right in front of us right here. Right? The Trump organization, what have they done? Well, supposedly, it is Trump himself launching a Bitcoin and crypto wallet with a trading app. Now, that's been debunked. Donald Trump and Eric Trump came out to say that the Trump organization themselves has no official involvement in this, but World Financial Liberty, which they've been working tirelessly on, there we go, the Trump administration, or the Trump guys, I should say, will be launching their official wallet soon. So it's pretty interesting to see that a new wallet is coming up from World Liberty Fi, most likely also being some sort of exchange inside of it, because what I'm thinking there is these guys just want to max extract from the crypto space. And the reason I'm saying that's such a big deal is because, think about it, if Trump is going to make so much money off of crypto, there is no way he's going to let this go down, right? Now, there was a little video here in the midst. I don't know if I can show that on the YTs, but I thought it was so freaking funny. Mom, why are we so rich? Because Dad never gave up. Gambling. I just thought it was lovely. Because honestly, I don't know. I just love that video. I don't know. Maybe you guys didn't like it at all, but I just wanted to quickly showcase it. That's why I kept it as my bookmark. U.S. pauses tariffs on select Chinese goods until August 31st. Obviously, also a very, very important ordeal. Obviously, this is what made the markets pump ever so slightly throughout the night here again, because everything when it comes to our crypto prices seems to be decided by tariffs right now. Right? Every single thing with regards to it. The U.S. paused the tariffs against select Chinese goods, though. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like this forever, but for right now, this is a very, very good situation, and I'm happy to see it. At the same time, President Trump says because of tariffs, their economy is booming. Can't say I agree with that. Can't say I agree with that at all, matter of fact. But it's got the people liking it. People are happy with it. And it just shows the way Trump thinks about these situations. For some reason, I personally think that all these tariffs are just wrecking our coins, wrecking our prices, wrecking everything. But whenever Trump starts speaking, he's basically putting these tariffs as the best thing for the economy ever. I don't know, though. It feels as if everything is breaking apart because of it, but maybe I'm wrong. Now, at the same time, I just want to quickly make sure where you guys are watching from. Today we've got a good turnout for the chat here. Paulie was asking, where are you? Well, we're here. Let's see, where have you been? Yeah, good question. Hello. Arya says, I shorted Solana at 183. I remember you saying not to. No, you can definitely do whatever you want, my friend. What's up, Dusty? What's up? What's up? The Craftsman. Nico back in the chat saying good day. Prosperity incoming. What's up? What's up, Nico? We've got Eavesdrop saying let's go. Lassa says only here for a few minutes, heading to bed. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Florida. All right, all right, all right. We're this time on the West Coast. West Coast. All right. Hello from Ukraine. Still hate Flare? I don't hate Flare. I don't like the Flare team necessarily. Flare itself is quite juicy. And I still don't like the fact they used XRP holders for the most part. But, you know, if you got it for free anyway, might as well make a lot of money on it. Regardless. All right, so to continue on. We also had a little bit earlier President Trump saying if the court rules against him on tariffs, that would allow other countries to hold their nation hostage. Obviously, that's the angle that Trump is trying to spin, that he needs full control over tariffs, which is why every single announcement from Trump has been about tariffs. Another one was that the Trump administration demanded final trade deal offers from countries by Wednesday to avoid reinstatements of tariffs. So basically, by tomorrow, we need more deals or more trade offers, and I don't know how this announcement didn't get more attention because, honestly, yes, the pausing of tariffs against some Chinese goods is a big deal, which I think on their own pumped the prices. I think the second part, right, actually has a bigger impact. The fact that more offers need to be made by tomorrow is, in my opinion, a more important situation. It's a more important deal. I see now the camera is starting to fall down yet again, ladies and gents. Let me try and get that back up. Yeah, I might just have to do this like 24 times. And at some point it will be good. At some point it'll stick. I don't know. I don't have a better alternative except for rescrewing and doing some stuff, but I don't want it. So I'll just move up and down with my camera as the camera moves. Let's continue on though. So yeah, another nice thing is we just covered that Trump is going to go for a new wallet. But that's not the only thing. They're also going to be going for a new Bitcoin ETF. So again, this is Truth Social, but it's all around Trump's situation, right? Everything right now seems to be around Trump. Everything that's going on right now is Trump related in some way, shape, or form. And again, him launching another Bitcoin ETF is coming along with the story of more for Trump, more for Trump, more for Trump. Now, kind of to steer away from Trump a little bit, because I think I had some more announcements, but maybe I've covered them all. Yeah, we have ourselves the ETF. We have ourselves that. I think we've covered the Trump situation good enough. The most interesting piece of news today for crypto holders is with regards to memes. Now, earlier I made a video. I'm not sure if I posted anything on YouTube about it. I don't think so. About the fact that the meme coin trenchers, they're changing. Right? Where before, a while back, the runners used to be a couple tens of million, a couple hundreds of millions of dollars worth of market cap. Right now, when I take a look at these meme coins, ladies and gents, like nothing is left. Every single one of these that do well is at like maybe 3 million, maybe 15 million or so, with the real big ones being in the $15-20 million range. Like most of these have been absolute garbage, absolute ass is the best way I can call them. Like meme coins are not as good, as juicy, as profitable as they used to be. And now, when people see a meme coin that goes to 3 million, they say it was a crazy success. Now, I think a big part of that has to do with Pump.Fun. Which of you guys in the chat know what Pumpfun is? Let me just quickly see how meme coin savvy y'all are. Let's quickly give it a little second to load on in. Who here knows what Pumpfun even is? Now we wait. Let's quickly take a little sip. Let's quickly see here in the chat. I'm also not so sure how much of a delay there is. I have no idea to see that. Okay, so we got the Craftsman giving a thumbs up. Who got what's up saying no idea. Oblivious to it. Yep. Alright. Word itself is saying what it is. Pump fun. Fair enough. Pump up prices and dump for profit. Okay, so there is a bit more of a delay I'm noticing now. Again, camera up. Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. But I don't have any better alternative. Oh, yeah, Dusty, where you been? Yeah, we've been gone for a while. Anyway, so I'll give a quick little explainer then, because a lot of you guys have no idea. He said, I have some idea what Pumpfun is, but there might be minors in the chat. It was the well. Anyway, you know what? I'll just give a quick little rundown. It's basically this platform where you could launch your own meme. And it's been one of the most popular platforms in crypto throughout the last few months, where, really months ago, it was so freaking trendy. New meme coins coming out every single day. And a lot of the most trendy, newest big memes all coming from that platform because it's kind of fair, right? It's not, but the idea is that it's kind of fair as everybody can buy in at the start. Now, that was the most popular platform, and the devs basically took out about $700 million worth of profit over the past, let's say, year or so. And instead of taking the route of Hyperliquid, which is a very well-known decentralized exchange nowadays, that basically gives back to the community for using the platform, what they decided to do was, after taking away $700 million from all these crypto holders by fees for using their platform, basically, they decided now they're going to do a token sale. So you can buy their token. You can buy $1 billion worth of the token at a $4 billion valuation. So instead of just taking away $700 million, they decided to add a little cherry on top. They decided the trenches were not destroyed enough. They needed to extract another $1 billion at a $4 billion valuation. So 25% of the tokens are going to be going out to people. I kind of wonder where the other 75% are going. I kind of feel as if the other 75% are, again, going to be going to Pumpfun for them to sell it on you. So they basically make $4 billion in a snap, which is an interesting situation that we're in. But these guys are blowing up the trenches the right way. Right? I don't know who else has extracted it as significantly as Pumpfun. It is just ridiculous, but it's kind of funny. Now, Ansem said Pumpfun raising $1 billion at $4 billion valuation after Trump coin launch is like the second plane hitting the towers. Damn, bro. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. CBOFE says, you extracted 730 mil off of fees from your users, and instead of giving them a big fat ass airdrop with most of the supply, you want to extract 1 billion more for 25%. It is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I can't feel as if anybody will be supporting them for this. It is not a good move in my opinion, but hey, can you really hate on them if they can make another $3 billion? Think about yourself in that situation. If you... I should just put it up as much as possible so you just see so it's just going to be a forehead stream. I should just do it like that. If I just let it go, I think it will slowly but surely come back down. Give it like 10 seconds. So I was going to say, though, if you could freely make like $1 billion after extracting 700 million, with no repercussions, no real bad sides, would you do it? And their answer is yes, they would, because nobody's stopping them. They are the leader in meme coins. I would say they have less of a monopoly than they had before, but still, ain't nobody stopping them. People will still put their money inside of it because they're huge, right? And so it's extraction to the max, sure, but they're getting away with it. Having said that, James Nguyen, this is the most known trader of the last couple of weeks. He basically had a $1 billion long that basically got wrecked over the past week or so. He decided to do some other trading, but basically his account went from plus $90 million to minus 20 million, maybe something like that, minus a couple tens of millions of dollars. And right now, he is basically on a path to make it all back and more. He said, I'll be the example of what making it all back in one trade looks like. Not finished advice. Do not follow Nguyen. It's an interesting guy, all right? Let me just say it like that. He's an interesting character. He's, again, going to try and make back, his $100 million that he lost by, I guess, counter trading himself. I don't know what he's going to do exactly to make this money back, but it's been interesting. Let me just say it like that. It's been an interesting journey to follow, and I'll be following it closely till the end, because this guy running up 100 M's and then losing it all within a few days is already an historic story. Like, that on its own is already... That's pretty significant. The fact that he had generational money, right? Generational wealth, making $83 $87 million in a few weeks, and then running it all to absolute zero, has got to be something that's got to be studied. The human art to turn tons of money into nothing. This bro's got to be studied. I mean, the fact that he's still able to live. I mean, we don't know how much money he had or if he hedged it. Hedging means he also had the same trade but counter on a different exchange. But regardless, right, he's been full alonging 40x leverage Bitcoin and ran his 100 M's back to zero. It's just, it is crazy to watch this guy's story, man. It just really, really is. Anyway, so I had a few more things. Let me just quickly see where in the depths I've got them. So one thing I'll quickly say when it comes to Bitcoin is right now, the price seems to fully react onto everything Trump related. So right now, everything tariff and Trump related seems to be fueling our market, with Bitcoin still actually finding a proper support above the previous highs. So if we're taking a look, basically the close of previously was about 104.3 thousand. This week, again, we are finding ourselves a bottom somewhere close to that level, and with the way things are currently looking, even if we were to make a low at, again, 97,000 or something like that, it'd still actually be a higher low and higher high. It just depends on, I guess, how low we go throughout the next few weeks if we are making under the low here. We could, of course, also continue on with, again, this candle here, this red one throughout the last week, just being another red candle like in the midst right there. It will depend, right? But as it currently stands, we again expect the market to move upwards. Even if it's slowly, it will surely, well, not surely, not financial advice, be doing that. Let me just quickly also ask in the chat, where's everybody watching from today? B. Durson says, yo, catch me up ASAP. I will probably not repeat anything today, just maybe watch back on the stream as I'm trying to get all the news out there as soon as possible. Because again, right now, I'm in the West Coast of the US time zone, and I'm a bit afraid that for a lot of people, it's already very, very late. We've got Alkmaar, UK, Melbourne. What time is it in Melbourne right now? Here it's about, yeah, it's like middle of the day, right? Ireland, Belgium. Mobile, Alabama or Atlanta? I don't know. Mobile, Alabama, I think that is. Brisbane, Australia. We've got 8 a.m., huh? So I'm recording this still from the 3rd. You're watching this from the 4th of June. That's crazy, though. You're a day further. We got Tampa. We got 8 a.m. We got Sweden, Colombia, Limburg. We've got Michigan. What's up, Dusty? What's up, man? We've got Auckland. We've got Australia. We've got Manchester, England. We've got Greece. We've got Mars. We've got Charleston, SC. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. I don't know what country that is. In and out. Hey, what's up, man? My man, thank you for taking pictures and talking to me and my wife at the conference in Vegas. What's up, man? Good to see you again in the chat. Cool guy. Met him over in Vegas. This is a nice guy. So you're really watching though, huh? Argentina, Birmingham, South Carolina. Okay. About 11 p.m. in the UK. Fair enough. I'm on the train to work. That's nice, Zach. Enjoy your train ride. So like we were saying about Bitcoin, though, as it currently stands, market is moving in the direction which we expected it to. But obviously, with the way we've set up our bots, it doesn't really matter exactly what happens here on the short term. Obviously, the longer term is already set, though. But we are still expecting the market to slowly but surely move up throughout the next few weeks to months. So it's just a matter of patience. Now, I want to quickly talk about XRP here, right? For a lot of you guys in the chat, XRP has got to be your favorite crypto. That's for a lot of people in the chat I know, right? This I know for a fact. And there's an interesting situation going on right now with XRP. So 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗏 posted new. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse told Chris on stage at XCPL Las Vegas that the company never pursued an acquisition of Circle. So there's been some discussions about that, but apparently 48 hours ago I joined Brad on stage in Vegas to get his thoughts on the future of Ripple. While the session wasn't broadcasted live, I found his remarks quite interesting and worthy of a tweet. So if you did not go to XRP Las Vegas, even though I was in Vegas, I also did not go, right? Why? I'll explain to you a different day, but let me just say it like this. These guys are not so properly organized, it seems, right? And the way they're doing the business, in my opinion, ain't that good. Whereas Bitcoin Vegas did a way better job, even though they're also a bit strange when it comes to conferences. Bitcoin Vegas, honestly, did things a lot better, but I think it's because they're quite small and more so community-led rather than a proper organizational structure. But give it some years, and these guys will also get their conferences proper, you know, if they continue to grow, I guess. Anyway, so 48 hours ago, I joined Brad. Quick takeaways from the conference, or at least from the discussion. Brad was unequivocal that Ripple didn't pursue an acquisition of Circle. Update, a comment below observes that Brad really said that Ripple never offered $10 billion for Circle, so perhaps Ripple floated an offer at another price point. Whatever the case, the point he was trying to make was much more important. While he wished Circle well, he wasn't considering an acquisition. Ripple's acquisition of Hidden Road hints at deeper ambitions, though. RLUSD isn't just a stablecoin, Ripple is positioning itself. Oh, I'm noticing the camera is going down again. All right, we had a few minutes. We had a few minutes of juiciness. I think there is a way to get this done. I could just move this to there. There should be a way to get this camera nice and done, but let me just pull this up again. You know what? I'm just gonna keep readjusting it every few minutes for now. I don't think the stream will last long enough where it's worthy of doing a whole architectural manifestation of whatever the frick I'm thinking of here. We're just gonna continue on with it. We're just gonna wing it. Ripple's acquisition hints at some deep ambitions. Ripple's positioning itself as an on-ledger collateral with transactions to be memorialized on the XRP ledger. This is infrastructure thinking, boring to some, but foundational to all. The UAE, of course, my country of residence, is engaging Ripple around tokenized real estate. A reminder that in some regions, tokenization is no longer theory, but a practical experiment underway. Starting with prime asset classes, and in front of the XRP crowd, Brad emphasized the damage done when crypto networks publicly debase one another. Ripple's donation of the Satoshi Skull wasn't a marketing ploy. It was, my words, a diplomatic gesture. Brad described visiting the SEC in surprisingly personal terms, noting differences in engagement. I could see the fire in his eyes. While it seems very obvious, it was still a reminder for me that there are real people behind stories. Ultimately, I walked away with a sense that Ripple isn't chasing a world where crypto replaces TradFi. It's betting on a world where the two are hybridized. All right, I didn't know that was a word. Where tokenized assets, stablecoins, and traditional financial institutions coexist and interoperate. If they're right, and I think they are, then that means that the next wave of acquisitions won't just be AMMs or token launchers. Think prime brokerages, think fiat on-ramps and payment processors. Think not only picks and shovels, but also bridges between the old and the new. Thanks to DigiPerspectives for the kind opportunity to hop on stage and do the interview, and thanks to 𝗓𝗏𝗏 for interviewing me about blah, blah, whatever, and what we're doing to make compliance easy for entrepreneurs. We need photos next time. All right. So anyway, if you're an XRP holder, if you're in the Ripple community, yeah, from almost any perspective, they're making some very, very good steps. Let's see. In and Out says, I won't be surprised if tomorrow there's a breaking news that Ripple bought Circle. I guess maybe if they want to do the exact opposite of what they preached on stage, but it seems they're not trying to buy it. Or at least they're not trying to buy it at that valuation, because he's apparently just said they're not looking for the acquisition. Let me see. There's a newer version. Let me quickly see. What has changed? Yeah, I think the only difference might be this update there. No, it was already there before. Okay, I don't know exactly what he changed then, but we get the idea. All right, we get the idea. So I thought that was, again, a pretty interesting post for all the XP holders, mostly because you realize that these guys are thinking way bigger than what they're currently at. And often, I think of the crypto market in a certain way. You know how I think about it? I think about it in the way of, we are so freaking early to something that's not early anymore. How do you say that? Or how do I describe that? Well, if you look at the crypto market, we are trillions of dollars worth. It is huge. But when you think about where it's going to end up, this is nothing. Like Bitcoin at $100,000, it's at 0.1 million, right? I think eventually it'll be counted in the millions of dollars. And when I think about market cap as well, right now people look at the market cap and think, oh, they have an opinion on it. But I think soon enough, we won't really be able to look at market cap and make any deduction. Just like how 99.9% of the people in the world do not know the market cap, so to speak, or the total circulating amount of dollars, euros, or any currency really for that matter at all. Most people do not know because it does not really matter in their day-to-day lives, and not really for any calculations either, right? If it's not that close to their bed, it does not really matter. Whereas with stocks and, well, at this point with cryptocurrencies, it does. I think soon enough that will also change. And really, I think them growing by a 1,000-fold, by a 10,000-fold even, could still be done in our lifetimes. And even though it's harder to quantify exactly how much that changes in purchasing power, because I do believe the world is ready for a massive shift in everything when it comes to payments, when it comes to wealth, I still believe, as it currently stands, that the market is set for such a crazy shift. All we need to do is wait for it, though. That's basically my opinion on the situation. Tyron says, I just joined, didn't miss anything. You can always just watch the stream back. I always keep them out there. I thought maybe I should always, delete the streams because the fun is there when people are there live. But I realized, no, you know what? I think for most of the streams, it's actually nicer if people could just look at it afterwards. Yeah, RPM says, Brad said banks will use XRP in 2019 and fifth market cap in 2025. So on that basis, 2030 looks good. You know what I think about that part? That if you asked me a few years ago where XRP would be, I would have said either at the top of the top or actually at zero. Why? Because the lawsuit could have taken XRP down to the freaking ground. But the fact that it didn't, the fact that it was able to sustain the top three, basically, of cryptocurrencies, it feels like the cleaner is trying to knock my door down. It really feels as if the cleaners or the room next to mine, they're not happy with my screaming. This is possible. But who gives a crap, I guess. Anyway, but as it currently stands, what was I trying to say again? Yeah, it caught me off guard a little bit. I just heard it. I was going to say that it would have either been dead or at the top of the top. Right now, it's still basically number 3. I think this is a good sign that over the next few months, we're going to see some crazy moves for this coin, because I still stand by my theory of $20 to $25 a coin is achievable this season. All it takes is, again, a bit of timing and a bit of luck. Luck in the sense that we just need the market to actually move upwards and not just go for another catastrophic run like in 2020 with the whole COVID situation, right? And again, luck being the most likely course of action here. Even though I'm calling it luck, this will most likely happen. And again, I think every bull market feels like luck, and we can call it luck, even though all these markets, S&P, the crypto market, they only trend upwards. It's so easy to win. All you got to do is just hold on. They're speaking Spanish, though. Maybe it's the cleaning lady. Maybe it's a raid setting itself up. Well, if you all of a sudden see the stream go out and the police come in, you know what happened. It was the SEC. It was the SEC. But regardless of that, there was also one more thing I wanted to quickly cover. And that was actually a question that I see most often in the comment section. And that is actually something completely different from what I usually talk about on the stream or on the videos. It is how much of your portfolio should be in crypto and which cryptos. I will only take a few minutes of this, but I personally think it's a good thing to quickly cover. And what I'll quickly say about this is, my personal perspective is that I think S&P, cryptocurrencies, and maybe let's just say that most major ETFs, or let's just call them major indices, and crypto are both worthy of calling them only up, which basically means that they continue to always go up over time. All you got to do is just be patient and not sell at dips. You're basically very well off if you just consistently buy it over time. Just buy it, for example, every day, every week, every month, something along those lines. And nobody in the history of buying the major assets really has lost. You can lose if you do it on the really short term, but if you think about it over a longer term, since they're basically at all-time highs, it's really quite hard to lose. Now, if you're asking, should you keep a bigger percentage in the S&P or a bigger percentage in crypto, or what should the split be? It really depends on how you like to achieve it. If you want a higher certainty of nothing like along the lines of a minus 70% drop or something like that happening, the S&P, of course, is nicer. If you want higher gain potential and more potential to actually diversify it as the market shifts, you could probably better go for something like a Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, all those. Now, the big pros and cons are also when it comes to your jurisdiction as to how easy it is to get into both. But mostly, it really just comes back to how much risk you like to keep. The reason I sometimes think it's not a stupid idea to have some stocks, to have some money in these indices, mostly comes down to the idea that you're just wanting to, in the back of your head, be diversified into different asset classes. Just like how, you can just buy one crypto and make a ton of money. You can also just buy 10 of them to, again, make a ton of money. But in case something does go bad, in case some lawsuit or something like that does pop up, like we saw with XRP in the past, you're kind of protected against that. Right now, the way Trump is doing things, I still believe crypto is going to go so insane, and he's going to make sure of that. But maybe somebody out there on the top of the top messes up. CZ from Binance or from Coinbase. Something so severely bad happens that it hunts our prices for a few months. For that reason, just to kind of protect yourself in case Larry Fink decides to push the button and wrecks us for a few months, just to prevent yourself from that, it's nice to diversify into a few different assets. So when it comes to building a proper portfolio, though, I always think as well, in a more bearish market or in a market where things are not just only up, only up, only up, I think it's not a stupid idea to be mostly in top coins, almost no small coins. But as the market starts moving up again, you see a lot of green across the board and you think, hey, everything just keeps popping off. It is not a stupid idea to get more into these meme coins, to get more into smaller coins, not really even above 50 million probably market cap, to make a ton of money. Because again, if the market's in that type of position, it's just how you exponentially make the gains. But as it currently stands, I think just top cryptos and maybe even just top indices are the best way to go until further notice. Yeah, just wanted to quickly state that because a lot of people are asking about proper portfolios, how much should be in crypto. For me, I think 98% or so worth of a crypto portfolio is fine, but soon enough, that will change. All right, that will change. Not for much says, how big will the market cap be when we get the financial system shift? Yeah, so I don't think we're going. Oh man, okay. This I will make sure next stream this is not the case. All right, I've got this. I'll change this up. But I was gonna say, it's not really about the number when it comes to market cap, because at some point nobody's gonna care about market cap anymore. Is my opinion. So right now we can keep calculating it, we can keep thinking about it. But how many people know the market cap, or else you can say the total circulating amount of any currency, right? Or if we're asking about China, how much of their currency is circulating? There's so many questions people don't know anything about. And I think for most of these cryptos, as time progresses, it's also how it's going to go. But I think really a 100x from where we're currently at is not too odd. It's not that far away. 𝗕𝗓𝗄𝗧 says, loaded question, not fib. What not fib says, okay, Dusty, many thanks for your regular updates. Oh, good. Lloyd says, if you hold enough, then you shouldn't have to ask. So in your case, just buy more. VZFCat says, I'm staying in Bitcoin and XRP to be safe right now. After alts, just lose your money. No, I think actually most alts over a longer period of time will still make you money. Actually, a ton of money even as well. They just are a bit more volatile. Meaning in the good market, you make just way more, but in the bad market, you lose more, and this can be annoying to watch. That's why for the faint-hearted, for the non-convinced, or for the people that just do not know as much, it's easier to stick to the top coins. Even ETH, right, over the past few years has lost people a lot of money, but I don't think that will stay too long. It's just, again, a matter of perspective and timing. Fizi says, if Bitcoin dumps right now, all of your alts are going to dump even harder. Wait for a confirmation above 120. Yeah, you got a good point. If Bitcoin does go down, alts go down more. But if Bitcoin goes up, most alts go up more, which is why a lot of people love altcoins over Bitcoin. This is definitely one of the more annoying things I've done in a while. I should have just shifted them when I had the chance a while back when I said, oh, are we going to do the stream like this or shift them over? But yeah. Anyway, none of this, of course, is financial advice. These are just my thoughts. But I really am quite convinced that this is the way to go. This is the way to go. Never stop clicking. Then again, really, really small coins, really even memes, they are not a bad thing when the market's good. It's just not that the market is the market is not too amazing. It's not stupid to stay away from them because your probability of losing is just a lot smaller, of of winning is just a lot smaller. But as the market progresses, boy, oh boy, are these going to be juicy. But again, you just got to give it some time. And when it comes to these, it's all about timing. And right now is not the time to go all in on those, but give it some time, and I think it'll be great again. But yeah, ladies and gents, that was it for the little quick stream. Just a little update on the market and everything that's going on. Trump, of course, he's moving our markets, man. It's Trump filing a new ETF, going for a wallet. A lot of beautiful things happening over on Trump's side. Very, very interesting to watch. Very, very entertaining. Of course, also Pumpfun launching their coin is another massive announcement. Oh, the camera has also decided to quit. Of course, things are not moving beautifully right now, but it's okay. It's all okay. Just want to do a quick stream to get you guys up to date with all this. Soon, though, if something else gets thrown out there, I'll update you guys or hit you guys with another stream. So stick around, and of course, whenever that happens, make sure you're here. If you didn't do it yet, make sure you put that subscribe bell on. Let's put it, ladies and gents. Take care.